Why do we model so many connections as pins in structural analysis? If you've done any sort of structural analysis before, you've probably seen a diagram such as this before, where we have lots of connections in here. All of them are modeled as pins, and you think to yourself, well, in real life, that doesn't really make sense because this would never actually be a pin. Unless you're getting into bridges, often you're very right that this won't actually be a pin connection, but why do we treat it as such? If we were to look at a joint like this, we can say, imagine we have a force up here, and you would imagine that it would create some sort of moment in the structure, and to a certain sense you may be correct. There are certain ways for us to get this out of the structure, this lateral force out of the structure, such as putting horizontal bracing in a method like that. However, when you're looking at this connection specifically here, you may not want it to actually carry the moment. If you have it in a frame like this and there isn't a significant amount of lateral loading, it doesn't make sense to try and model this as something other than a pin because it becomes much more expensive when you have to design this as a fixed connection that is not allowed to rotate. Now, yes, it is understood that even though it has a base plate on it and that it will not be allowed to freely rotate, it is going to have some amount of moment force that goes into it, but quite frankly, it's insignificant to the actual force that is intended to be modeled in the beam. So this is why we model a lot of these connections as pins.